Hi folks, I was recently asked a question. I felt it was pretty important, so I thought I'd go ahead and make a video about it to answer this for more people, because I'm almost sure a lot of people have this question on their mind. And the question I got was, do I really need to have an emergency fund? Short answer, absolutely. I really truly believe everybody needs to have an emergency fund. You know, an emergency fund, it's going to cover unexpected expenses, things you didn't see coming. Folks, life happens. It's going to happen to you eventually. Your car's going to break down. Your water heater's going to go out. Your washer's going to stop working. Your dryer's going to quit drying. Something is going to break down. You may get a limb through your roof and have to replace it. Do you have that kind of cash on hand? I don't know too many people that do. I know I don't. That's why I have an emergency fund. An emergency fund is going to give you the opportunity to live your life and not be in panic all the time. You know, it's also going to keep you out of debt, because if you don't have the cash on hand, you don't have an emergency fund set aside, how are you going to pay for this emergency? Put it on credit cards? Take out a loan? You're just taking on more debt. You know, high interest rates, long-term interest on a loan. Folks, those are two traps I hope nobody has to get into. What about pulling money out of an investment? You know, the whole purpose of an investment is to make more money for you. I sure don't want to take it out and have it stop earning if I have other options available to me. Having an emergency fund is going to leave you with peace of mind. Trust me, folks, it really will. Knowing you've got the cash set aside for an emergency, it's going to make your life much more calmer. You know, you don't have to worry about what if situations. You're prepared. You're covered already. Folks, it gives you a little bit of flexibility anyways. You know, if income changes or expenses spike, an emergency fund buys you time, and it's going to give you some options. You know, along with, do I need to have an emergency fund? The general question is, how much do I need to have? How much do I put into this emergency fund so I can sleep at night? Well, the common answer, the answer all the experts give, you want to have a goal of saving between 3 and 6 months of your normal expenses. Some people say essential. Normal's not really right, because you're not worried about cable. You're not worried about streaming services. You're not worried about magazine subscriptions. You're worried about the essential expenses in your life. Putting food on the table. Keeping a roof over your head. But even if you start with $500 to $1,000, you're still building. And as long as you continue to build, that's the bottom line goal right there, folks. As long as you keep building an emergency fund, you're going to be fine. Now the question is, how do I do this? How do I build an emergency fund? You know, money's already tight. It's tight for everybody. I understand that. Let's go over some notes I've got here, step by step. Step number 1, you want to start by setting a small goal. You don't want anything big. Just make a small goal. Make a bunch of small goals. Goal number 1, save $500 in an emergency fund. I think that's doable. I really do. $50 a month or so. Yeah, you'll get to 500. Step number 2, open a separate savings account for your emergency fund. I even have one that's called my emergency fund. It's just a savings account, but that's where my emergency fund goes. You know, you want to continue to add to your emergency fund, but you don't want to have real quick, easy access to it. Why? One of these days you're going to take a look at what your total is and say, hey, I've been looking at that big screen TV. I'm really interested. Out of sight, out of mind, folks. You you don't want to be tempted to spend it. It's there for emergencies only. Step number 3, save a small fixed amount. Like I say, start with a goal of $500. Save $10 a week. Save, if you get paid twice a week, if you're still working, save $25 a paycheck. Save $50 a month. Every small amount is going to add up. Consistency is what matters, not how fast you grow it. Just continue to grow it. Step number 4, automate it. You know, your Social Security check is automated. Why not automate your savings for your emergency fund? You know, your Social Security check comes in, just tell the bank, I want $50 every month transferred over into this account, my emergency fund. It, again, out of sight, out of mind. Step number 5, use found money. Well, what in the heck is found money? I mean, you expect me to go out and walk up and down the street looking for pennies? No, that's not what I mean by found money. Found money is, this is the start of the year. We're coming up on tax time real quick. You know, they got to get all the paperwork out to us by the end of this month, January. So if you're lucky enough and you get a tax refund, stick it in your emergency fund. How about rebates? Do you fill out rebates and send them in? You know, it's only $1 here, $1 there, $5, whatever. But slow and steady is what's going to win the race. Put that money into your emergency fund. It's going to help it grow, folks. Somebody sends you a birthday card with $25 in it. Yeah, you could go run down to McDonald's and eat lunch real quick, but you can also run down to the bank and stick it in your emergency fund. Using found money is going to speed things up. Not a great deal, but every penny helps, folks. Step number 6, and this is where everybody goes wrong. Don't use it unless it's a true emergency. Medical expenses, home or car repairs, necessary travel. You know, somebody, God forbid, falls and breaks a hip, or something like that happens, and they're out of town, their family member or close friend. You want to go see them? How are you going to fund that? I take money out of my emergency fund to go do that. It's not for your wants. It's not for sale items. It's not for vacations. Those aren't emergencies, folks. Step number 7, again, you want to build up anywhere from between 3 and 6 months money for expenses. Once you hit 500, set a second goal. Make it 1,000. Long-term goal, again, like I say, 3 to 6 months. You know, that could be anywhere from, I don't know, $6,000 to $15,000. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. There's no rush, folks. Steady progress is what's going to do it. Here's a simple rule to remember. Save small, save often, but stay consistent. You have to consistently put money into this account. Every week, every 2 weeks, every month, however you want to do it. But you have to do it every time you say you're going to do it. So, folks, again, to answer the question, is an emergency fund important? Absolutely. I can't stress enough to you to have an emergency fund. So I hope this helped. I hope it answered the question for a lot of people that might not be willing to step forward and ask the question. If it helped, if you give me a like, subscribe to the channel, share the information with somebody else that could definitely use it. So, folks, until next time, you all take real good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you later.